On the news tonight, Supreme Court orders old and new Naira notes to coexist till further notice. Experts advocate gender inclusion for a robust economy. Good evening and welcome to NTA Ijebu News at 7. Thanks for joining us. I am Olawumi Adeniji, and here are the details. The Supreme Court has ordered that the old 200, 500, 1,000 Naira notes should continue to coexist with new notes as all continue to remain legal tender until the federal government put a process in place for their replacement or redesign after due consultation with relevant stakeholders. The 7-man panel of justices, headed by Justice Inyang Okoro, gave the order following a motion filed by the federal government through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, seeking the order of the court to grant an extension of time for old Naira notes to remain in circulation as legal tender. The government also prayed the court to lift the earlier order, which was given on March 3, 2023, believing that the extension of time is necessary as it has not been able to print the volume of new notes that would enable a phase-out of the old currency before the December 31st deadline. In the fresh application by the federal government, in a fresh application, the federal government further explained that should the Supreme Court decline its request to extend the period of circulation of old notes, the country stands the risk of descending into another national economic and financial crisis, as witnessed in the first quarter of the year, when the Naira redesign policy was being implemented under the former central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has promised to partner and support state-owned higher institutions operating vocational and entrepreneurial studies, describing such centers as key in promoting SMSEs, the engine room of the nation's economy. The governor, who made this known at the 13th, 14th, and 15th combined convocation of Tai Solarin University of Education, Tasweri Jagun, Ogun State, also announced financial awards of 2 million Naira each to the overall graduating students of the free academic sessions. Anthony Gadonu has more.
Numbering about 12,700 students in various degrees of the university and 329 in the postgraduate colleges, out of which 113 graduated with first class, were graduates of 13th, 14th, and 15th combined convocation of the Tai Solarin University of Education. In their separate speeches, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Oluwole Banjo, and the institution's Pro-Chancellor, Professor Ramon Bello, said despite the halting economy in the country, the institution maintained its mandate of producing quality teachers and entrepreneurs in the country.
Since its establishment, that's why there has been access winner in all educations. That's why there has been playing leading roles in the development of teacher education, vocational and entrepreneurial training among Nigerian universities. We teach future teachers in curriculum content and methodology. Our students graduate with 2 certificates, one in course content and another in educational discipline of their choice. Your Excellency, this university is thriving on the global wave as the flagship university of education in Nigeria and one of few of its kind in the entire world. However, to be more profound, the university needs more funds to carry out its core functions of teaching, research, and community service. There is a need to restructure the basis of the funding of the university so it can continue to grow and perform its roles unperturbed.
While commending the university's management for maintaining academic standards despite the current situation in the country, the state governor, Dapo Abiodun, announced financial award of 2 million Naira each to the overall best graduating students of year 2020-2021, 2021-2022, and 2022-2023, and other cash awards to others.
The graduates of today, I urge you to reciprocate the gifts of learning and character molding that Tasweri has bestowed upon you. The fundamental objective of university education. Our government remains committed to creating an enabling environment for growth and development, aimed at making Ogun State vibrant and economically stable for all. I wish to assure the entire university community of administration's ongoing commitment to supporting you in all respects. Together, we uphold our status as the education capital of Nigeria and strive to fulfill our dreams of a brighter future.
The 2022-2023 overall best graduating students, Mercy Sonyaolu, while speaking on behalf of the entire graduating students, appreciated all who contributed to the success of the academic pursuit.
As we want to venture into the next phase of our lives, I want to implore us to put together all that we have learned into changing and developing our world. Let us embrace the power of collaboration and networking, and then keep on improving on being the best version of ourselves, even as we harness our potentials to the fullest. Wherever we find ourselves, let us be good as ambassadors of God, good ambassadors of our alma mater, Tacit, and our dear country, Nigeria.
Highlights of the ceremony include conferment of Honorary Doctor of Science Award on the former CBN Deputy Governor, Dr. Tunde Lemo, for his contributions to the university community, and award of scholarship to the overall best graduating students of 2022-2023 set, Mercy Sonyaolu, for her master's degree. In Ijebu, Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
Leadership of the 10th National Assembly today emphasized that the legislature is aligned to the renewed hope agenda as it presents an opportunity for the free arms of government to work in unison to meet the hopes and aspirations of all Nigerians. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that President of the Senate Godswill Akpabio and Speaker House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas affirmed the support during the laying of the 2024 budget proposal by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
Our legislative agenda constellates around it, and we believe its faithful implementation will augur well for our nation and put Nigeria on a new growth trajectory.
The House of Representatives will convene the first National Citizens Budget Town Hall to harness public input and opinion on this budget. We are convinced that this will increase transparency and accountability, improve policy making, and increase trust in government.
Strategic streamlining is the term that encapsulates the submissions by these two presiding officers of the National Assembly. They are convinced that President Tinubu's administration is determined to impact positively on all sectors and segments in the country for the good of citizens, going by his antecedents since assumption of office. The reforms touching on economic growth and diversification through agriculture, security and social developments, when effectively implemented, they believe will turn around the fortunes of Nigeria.
A mono economy is putting all our eggs in one basket. It is a risk we have taken for too long, and we cannot continue to tempt providence. We also believe that education should be prioritized and something done to stop frequent closures of schools.
The 2024 budget should prioritize social welfare programs to help reduce poverty and inequality. Equally important is job creation and youth empowerment in view of the large and ever-growing youth population. Failure to do this means failure to invest in our future.
While emphasizing resources be judiciously allocated, the legislature insisted on putting heads together for the good of all.
We request Mr. President would mandate honorable ministers and heads of agencies to avoid foreign travels during this period of our engagements with them. Let us remember that our actions today will shape the future of our dear nation. Together, let us work towards a budget that reflects the aspirations and dreams of every Nigerian citizen.
We'll also work to institutionalize pre-budget engagements with the executive to further improve and hasten the budget process.
In the coming days, the National Assembly will engage heads of ministries, departments and agencies of government as they appear to give accounts of previous allocations and defend their spending proposals for 2024. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Minister of Education, Tai Mamman, has assured Nigerians that the present administration will address the menace of out-of-school children and other problems confronting the education system in the country. This was during an interactive session with the Joint House Committee on Education.
This is the first time the Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, is having interface with members of Joint House Committee on Education led by Abubakar Hassan Fulata. The minister, who briefed members of the committee, highlighted key areas that his ministry is soliciting support to deliver on the renewed hope mantra.
We also know as a fact the problems confronting education. We know as a fact that education is the bedrock of the development of any country. If you don't get it right in education, honestly, I can't see how other things will come into play. And that's why European countries, and especially America, they spend so much money in attracting the best from other countries, best brains.
After listening to his submission, chairmen of various committees assured of a robust engagement, considering the importance attached to education sector.
I call on the Honourable Minister and his team to see these committees as partners in progress with a common goal of improving the education sector and bringing succor to the lives of citizens, most especially our teeming youth who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
One of the sponsor donor, Lincoln Foundation, that accepted a proposal to take 14 million out of school children in 4 years with a total budget of about $1.6 billion. Want to see the seriousness from our own side as government.
Key players agree with the commitment of both legislature and the executive. The narrative of education from basic to tertiary institutions will change for the better. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The catalyst to boosting Nigerians' gross domestic products lies in bridging the existing gender gap to champion all gender inclusiveness in various sectors of the economy. These measures, experts assert, will unlock between $9 and $22 billion into the economy. Ngozi Technical reports that this was at the 2023 Gender and Inclusion Summit held in Abuja.
Brainstorming with like minds to identify areas of need and mitigation strategy informed this gathering with the singular aim of advancing economic development, ensuring that no segment of the society is exempted. The advocacy centers on holistic integration of the 70% of Nigerian population under 35 years to harness the rich potentials in direct and indirect investment.
We need to also be intentional in driving messages through art that send hope and inspiration to young people. And these messages have to reflect our morals, culture, and values as a nation.
The sessions for this Gender and Inclusion Summit is really focused on picking what you can call nexuses, points of inflection that if you change, it can cause rapid transformation at scale. So health and trade are the two intersections that we are looking at.
Core areas of focus include improving women economic empowerment program, participation of women in politics, reducing gender-based violence, and formulation of a national economic policy for youth development are being considered.
The real aim is to ensure that we are building a gender-inclusive society, so a society where everyone has a role, everyone's right is respected.
A number of things that we need to really support. One is women's, financial inclusion and access to finance. The second is women's access to markets.
The summit at the instance of Policy Innovation Center of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group revolves on the theme, Building Bridges, Advancing Gender and Inclusion through the Intersection of Trade and Health, is expected to come up with draft policy documents that, when implemented, will boost the nation's GDP. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Ijebu News. There will be more reports after this time out.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy.
We'll see about that.
it's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
You are welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. The news continues. The need for Yoruba race to unite and intensify support for President Bola Tinubu to achieve his renewed hope agenda for Nigerians has been emphasized. Convener, All Progressive Congress Southwest Support Groups, Ambassador Adewale Adeogun, made this emphasis while addressing representatives of the support groups in Ijebu. That report will come your way in our subsequent bulletin. Some residents of Ibara Police Barracks in Abeokuta are counting their losses as a result of a fire incident that engulfed one of the buildings at the complex. Lekwan Mode has more.
Definitely, we know that police and their families are living in the barracks. But yesterday, no one was able to arrest the fire until it wreaked havoc, destroying property and rendering people homeless.
The inferno, according to eyewitnesses, was as a result of electrical surge when public power supply was restored. The top floor of the 2-story building is the most affected, as victims say they were not able to salvage any of their valuables but are grateful that no life was lost. The general mood at the barracks was somber when the NTA news crew arrived at the scene, as the victims were still in shock and yet to come to terms with what happened to them. Some of them could not hold back tears as they narrate how the incident happened.
From the ceiling, smoke everywhere. We cannot even enter inside again. Those people, they tried to off the fire, but they couldn't before the fire service came. We should come because I lost all my business. Something has gone.
I was doing contribution all these days. I said, let me keep it so that when my husband come, I will surprise him, because he always tell me, what kind of work am I doing that? I cannot even bring money. I cannot produce anything at home. And I say, okay, let me keep this money. When he is back, I can show him and tell him that this is what you have been insulting me all these days. But unfortunately, everything is gone now.
Please, we want government to come and intervene on our behalf. Single to nobody carry on out, but we thank God our children are out, but nothing, our property, everything.
Some of the household items that were salvaged from the other floors of the building are still outside. They have no idea of where to move them to for now, but they appeal to government and other well-meaning Nigerians to come to their aid. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agmode, NTA News.
And that concludes the news for tonight. Good night.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced